Alright. Right now, Cool Now Manga reviewing Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 84. And honestly, there were a few parts in this episode where I was genuinely frightened. Because of, like, certain characters. Like, I was like, damn. That's scary as shit. And Neferpitou honestly just killed this episode. Oh. And on an information level, again, this episode was just great. But on an overall feel, oh man, this episode was just off the chains. It was dope. Basically, it's again split into basically 3 parts. One with Gon and Killua again, Gon, Killua, and Kite again, being chased by Hagia's group, and Kite again just takes care of a bunch of fodder ants with his silent waltz, and after seeing this, Hagia he backs down. He's like, no, I'm done. I know I'm outclassed. I completely agree. Like, we gotta peace out right now. And he leaves. And in that, we got, like, that alone, there was a bunch of scenes in that part alone, which were awesome. But the real shit happened back at the ant lair, and oh my god. Oh, damn, it was dope. It was just awesome. Back at the ant hive, basically, we got, Peggy and Ramot, they're going to find the rare human. And when they get down to the storage room, they find out that the rare human can't be found anywhere, and apparently it was fed to the queen already, considering they can't find it. Then Peggy finds out, that, again, some ants can't see this. Only select few ants can see this life energy. And, of course, only at this point, only Ramot can produce it. So, this gets, this sort of gets Ramot just, thinking. And, oh man, he gets, like, the craziest thought in his head, and he realizes how crazy it is, but it just, like, it piques his interest so high that he could be a chosen being. He could have had this power bestowed upon him, by the heavens. But instantly, and this was slick, you see his ecstasy, in him realizing that he could become the strongest of all the ants. And then he actually realizes that he will never have a chance, and it's literally a split-second change. He's just happy as shit, and then instantly cowardice, frown, and it was just great. It was awesome, and you could feel the aura over him, and he's cowering in it, and he's like, what the hell is this? And then he realizes that he has been born into a position that he cannot escape. And he will never be as strong as, or even close to as strong as the king. And then we see Pitou come out just, baller. She's just baller. And she raises her hand as Ramot is kneeling, right? And you can see, as her hand touches his head, he feels the almost like spiritual pressure. Like, this is almost like straight Bleach spiritual pressure shit. Like, he just feels the enormous strength and he's like, oh my god, and his frown completely, like he just completely breaks. His knees, both knees hit the ground. He's just like, oh my, and he realizes that his power, him gaining this ability, was simply him gaining the ability to serve these royal guards and the king, because as he knows, as all the ants know, the king will be the strongest of the ants. Considering that this royal guard is this much stronger than a squadron leader, it was something that Ramot, he couldn't even fathom. He couldn't even fathom it, and it was great. It was really good. Of course, Pitou, so slick, catches the rare human instantly, like, you know, saw. From what we've seen so far, this is the first Chimera ant to be born with Nen, the ability to use Nen. And she used her Nen to, you know, instantly find where Paku was hiding, and you know, he just bam. Ramog goes in there, he just grabs that shit. He's like, whatever. Then we see Neferpitou just chilling, reading a book, basically about the human anatomy and the human brain and shit. And just from reading how to stimulate the brain, she instantly realizes how she's gonna get the information she needs out of this human. And this was slick, you know, we see this whole operation part where she's basically just picking at his brain. Unfortunately, I feel like this scene here could have been a bit better, because literally in the manga, you see her picking at the brain. Like, you literally see her picking at the brain. Like, you can see Paku's head, literally, his skull is missing from above his, from above his brow, like basically right here, just gone. And she's just picking at his brain. And I mean, although we didn't see it, it was still good. It was still real good. But I wish they would have just put that in. But of course, in doing this, in like stimulating the nerves of his brain, she gets him to reveal every single thing about, well, all the basics at least, about Nen. And the Chimera ants are literally about to just gain insane amounts of power. Every single ant, well, squadron leader, all of them, they're all gaining insane amounts of power. Of course, we see at the end, you know, Colt, he's gained Nen, okay? His Nen has officially, like, started to leave his body, like, seep out of his body, and it was just so good. You know, you see in his eyes, he's just like, yes. And right as you see him do this, there's a scene going on with Pitou picking at the brain of Paku, and you know, he's stating that the more you can gain more power from Nen through individuality, and if your individual preferences or talents, your individual talents coincide with your with your Nen group, you will end up being that much more powerful. And you see Colt get up at this moment, and it was just so sick. I was like, oh my god, this is just intense. So, like, the whole episode overall, it was just so good. Oh, I was literally, like, looking at Pitou's face, like, Neferpitou, oh my god, literally the most frightening of all the Chimera Ants, in my opinion. You see, before, Paco gets caught, he's like, shit, what is this evil aura? And her aura is just insanely dark. And, yeah, just the way, oh man, it was slick. It was real slick. This episode was real good. Next week, it's going to be a real crazy episode. Just from the preview and from what happens next in the manga, I already know what's going to happen, and it's very sad. But next episode is going to be pretty intense. So this was just, it was great. Simple as that. It was great episode. It could have been amazing, but just that. I'm picky, man. I'm picky, especially when it comes to Hunter x Hunter, and the fact that we didn't get to see their action, like Neferpitou just actually like getting in there and digging into the brain. Like we saw it, but we didn't see. You know what I mean? So great, not amazing. Great. Next week, I don't know, probably the chapter that next week's episode is based on, for me, was like an amazing chapter overall. So the episode should be freaking great. I mean, considering all the episodes so far in this arc have literally surprised the shit out of me. I didn't think that it was going to be this intense, but it is, and I'm loving it. So, cool no manga here. Rate, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Tune in next week. Peace.